Common motions. So we will be discussing two common motions for today. We have motion for reconsideration and motion to quash. So when we say motion for reconsideration, it is a legal remedy available to a party who feels aggrieved by a court's decision or resolution. This motion requests the same court to review and possibly reverse or modify its decision based on the grounds presented. In the Philippine legal context, this motion is governed by the rules of court, particularly Rule 37. So, ang motion for reconsideration ay fina-file ng kung sino mang party ang nakararamdam na parang agrabyado sila. So, ibinibigay nila ito or fina-file nila ito kapag tapos na ang kaso, kapag meron ng resolution, kapag meron ng decision si judge. Okay. At ang sinasabi dito, kasi nga 'di ba reconsideration, parang pwede po bang paki-check nyo ulit yung sinabi ninyo? Pwede po bang paki-check ulit yung decision ninyo? So, you are making a request to review or possibly reverse nga, mabaligtad kung yung dating guilty baka maging not guilty, yung dating not guilty baka maging guilty. Yun yung gusto ninyong mangyari, kaya kayo nagpa-file ng motion for reconsideration. Grounds for filing a motion for reconsideration or MR: the party must demonstrate one or more of the following grounds. First one is errors of law or fact. The decision is premised on incorrect legal principles or factual errors that significantly affect the outcome of the case. Merong hindi tama doon sa pagkaka-apply ng batas or merong mali doon sa facts. Kaya nagkaroon ng maling decision ang court. Kasi kung nakuha nila yung tamang impormasyon, then it's possible na iba ang magiging decision ng court. Kaya kino-consider itong ground for MR. Second is newly discovered evidence. Evidence that could not have been discovered before the decision despite due diligence and would likely change the result if considered. So from the term itself, newly discovered evidence, hindi pa nakikita itong ebidensyang to nung ongoing pa ang trial at nakita lang ito during the time na tapos na ang trial, meron ng decision si judge. And kung nakita nila itong ebidensyang to, malamang iba rin ang magiging decision ng court. So this is another ground for filing an MR. Third one is excessive or insufficient damages. The awarded damages are either too high or too low based on the evidence and circumstances of the case. So base na nga sa pangalan niya, excessive. Sobra-sobra yung binigay na penalty para doon sa tao. Or kulang naman. Baka naman sobrang yaman ng taong to. Tapos ang naging penalty niya ay 10 piso lang. Syempre hindi naman totoo yun. Pero just to give you an example, just to illustrate it to you, na kung ang isang mayamang tao ay binigyan natin ng penalty na 10 piso, it's insufficient, 'di ba? Kailangan kasi equal siya doon sa nagawa mong offense. And of course, depende rin sa circumstances nung case. Baka naman hindi ganun kalala yung krimen na nangyari. So hindi rin tama na mataas yung penalty na ibibigay natin doon. So again, the penalty has to be equal with the damages cost. So the procedure for filing an MR involves several critical steps. First one is time frame. The motion must be filed within 15 days from receipt of the judgment or order. Failure to do so renders the decision final and executory. For example, na-receive nyo yung decision ni judge around August 31. Then you have September 1 to September 15 to file your motion for reconsideration. Filing lang ito ha. So meron kang 15 days para makapag-file ng MR. At ang mangyayari kapag hindi ka nakapag-file ng MR within that 15 days, final and executory na yung decision ni judge. Hindi na siya pwedeng mabago. So the motion should clearly state the specific grounds for reconsideration supported by relevant arguments and evidence. Hindi pwedeng basta ka lang wag pa-file ng MR. Yung mga nabanggit nating tatlong dahilan, tatlong grounds for filing an MR, dapat pasok na pasok siya doon. Yun yung content na tinutukoy dito. The motion must be served to the opposing party, giving them an opportunity to respond. So kapag nag-file ka, kung sino ka man, ikaw man ang defense or ikaw ang prosecution, you also have to give a copy of your MR filing doon sa opposing party. Filing a motion for reconsideration has several procedural effects. First one is suspension of finality. Pag sinabi nating final, dulo na, 'di ba? Last na, hindi na ito mababago. So yung decision ni judge yung tinutukoy dito, masususpend muna. So imbes na mai-implement na, hindi muna. Kumbaga, but wait, there's more. So the decision does not attain finality while the MR is pending. So again, kapag merong motion for reconsideration na nakafile, hindi muna finalized ang decision ni judge, ang application nito. This prevents the enforcement of the judgment during this period. So for example, ang sabi ni judge is sisintensyahan itong accused ng 10 years, for example. So instead na magsaserve na kaagad si accused, hindi na pala siya accused, si offender, magsa-start na siya ng service niya. Kunyari, day 1 na sana ng pagkakakulong niya, hindi muna magi-start sa day 1. Suspended muna yon. Kasi nga, merong nakafile na MR para matiyak na kapag nakapag-desisyon na ulit si judge doon sa MR na final, at kung sinabi niya na guilty talaga ang isang tao, doon pa lang magsisimula yung sentensya niya. Doon pa lang magsisimula yung day 1 kapag na-resolve na yung MR na na-file. Number 2 is possible outcomes. The court may grant the motion and modify or reverse its decision, or it may deny the motion, making the original decision final and executory. So, pwedeng i-grant ang motion. Ibig sabihin, kung ano man yung sinabi doon sa motion for reconsideration, sasang-ayon si judge. Ibig sabihin, mare-reverse, maiiba yung magiging decision niya doon sa kaso na yon. Second one is mamomodify. So again, kapag nag-grant ang motion, mamomodify yung decision, mare-reverse din ang decision. Sabay-sabay na yon, syempre. Kasi nga, yung sinabi niya nung una, guilty siya. At kapag ginrant niya yung MR, ang mangyayari is not guilty na. So, maiiba yung decision niya, mababago, di ba? Ang isa pang pwedeng gawin ni judge is to deny the motion. Ibig sabihin, hindi final na ang decision ko. Kung ano yung sinabi ko, yun na yun. Wag ka nang makulit. Ibig sabihin nun, final and executory na yung pinakaunang decision na binigay ni judge. Strategic considerations. While an MR is a valuable tool, parties must consider its strategic implications. So, grounds and evidence, ensuring that the grounds are substantial and the evidence presented is compelling, increases the likelihood of a favorable outcome. So before filing a motion for reconsideration, you have to really consider kung yung mga ebidensyang ipepresent ninyo as grounds for filing the motion for reconsideration ay kumbaga meron talagang laman, meron talagang bigat para kapag nagdesisyon si judge, mare-reverse niya yung una niyang naging decision. Then we have subsequent remedies. If the MR is denied, the party may still have the option to appeal to a higher court, provided the grounds for appeal are distinct from those raised in the motion for reconsideration. So for example, sabi ni judge, guilty si accused at nag-file ng motion for reconsideration ang defense lawyer. Kaso sabi ni judge, motion denied. So pwede pa, may remedy pa. At yung remedy na yon is appeal to a higher court, doon na sa Court of Appeals. And yung reasons for appeal, it should be different from those reasons na final mo doon sa motion for reconsideration. There are limitations to the use of a motion for reconsideration. First one is one motion rule. Generally, only one motion for reconsideration is allowed. Successive motions are typically prohibited to prevent undue delay. Kasi nga, di ba, kapag ka natanggap nyo na yung decision ni judge, you only have 15 days to file a motion for reconsideration. Sabihin natin, kunwari, nag-file ka 5 days pa lang. Tapos, kunwari lang, nagbigay ng decision si judge after 2 days. Then, may ilang araw pa, di ba? Kasi ang sabi natin, may rule na 15 days. Hindi pwede na magpa-file ka ulit ng motion for reconsideration. Ma'am, kasi pasok pa sa time. Hindi pwede yon. Isang beses ka lang pwedeng mag-file ng MR kahit pa na may oras na kasi delaying tactics yan di ba? Non-appealable orders. Certain orders such as interlocutory orders may not be subject to reconsideration. So, a motion for reconsideration is an essential remedy in the Philippine legal system, allowing parties to seek redress from judicial errors or new evidence. Understanding its grounds, procedures, and strategic implications is crucial for effectively navigating the legal process and ensuring the fair administration of justice. So, katulad nito, isang example ng motion for reconsideration. As you can see doon sa taas, it's from NAPROS, National Prosecution Service. Left side sa taas, the complainant versus yung respondents. And then sa right side, top right side would be the law violated. Ayan. So, nakalagay yung preparatory statement nila. Nakalagay din dito, timeliness of the motion. Kasi nga, di ba, may rule na dapat 15 days lang after receiving the decision of the court, you have to have filed your motion for reconsideration. And dito rin makikita ninyo na nakalagay kung ano-ano yung grounds for motion for reconsideration. Ayan. So, katulad dito, respondents had no intent to defraud complainant Bohol Beach Club and respondents' liability is civil in nature. So, dito, ina-assert nila that there is an error of fact or error of law. Kasi fact, dahil hindi naman daw nila niloloko. Wala silang intention ganun. And error of law kasi hindi siya criminal in nature. Sabi nila, civil in nature lang daw. So, this is a case of estafa kasi. And then, meron ding prayer. Kumbaga, pag sinabing prayer, ito yung gusto mong mangyari. Next is motion to quash. A motion to quash is a formal request by the accused for the court to dismiss or quash the criminal complaint or information on grounds specified by law. Kumbaga, sinasabi niya nga sa court na i-dismiss yung complaint or yung information na final sa kanya. Na, kumbaga, wala tong bearing, judge. Parang ganun. It is filed before the accused enters a plea, yung sasabihin niya kung guilty ba siya or not guilty. Once granted, it prevents the case from proceeding to trial unless the court gives the prosecution an opportunity to cure the defect when allowed by the rules. Kumbaga, bago pa makarating sa trial, bago pa magsimula ang trial, actually, hindi pa nakakarating ng arraignment kasi hindi pa na-enter yung plea. Kasi, again, during arraignment, that is the time when you enter your plea. Yun na nga, pine-prevent ng motion to quash yun. So, kapag nag-grant ang motion to quash, hindi na magpo-proceed sa trial. Maliban na lang kapag sinabi ni judge, pinagbigyan niya ang prosecution na ayusin yung pagkakamali nila. So, the purpose of a motion to quash is to raise jurisdictional defects or other fatal infirmities in the complaint or information, to protect the accused from the expense, anxiety, and delay of an invalid or deficient prosecution para maprotektahan yung akusado mula doon sa mga yon. To ensure that the charging document, the complaint, or the information fully comports with legal requirements and due process. Kumbaga, kailangan matiyak na yung information or yung complaint na na-file sa court ay tama, sumusunod doon sa mga requirements. Time to file a motion to quash must be made before entering a plea. So, bago sabihin kung guilty ba siya or not guilty. If the accused fails to file it within the prescribed period and proceeds to arraignment and plea, the accused is generally considered to have waived the objections that could have been raised by such motions, except for certain non-waivable grounds such as lack of jurisdiction, failure of the facts alleged to constitute an offense. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, kapag hindi nakapag-file ng motion to quash before arraignment, before entering the plea, ibig sabihin, wini-waive na nila yung right nila na mag-file ng motion to quash. Exceptions or non-waivable grounds. Even if not raised at the earliest opportunity, certain defects can be raised at any stage of the proceedings, such as lack of jurisdiction over the offense charged, failure of the facts charged to constitute an offense, extinguishment of the criminal action or penalty, and double jeopardy. Yun yung mga grounds to file a motion to quash na hindi mo pwedeng i-waive. Ibig sabihin, pwede mo siyang i-file at any time kapag eto yung mga dahilan mo. Grounds for a motion to quash. Under Section 3, Rule 117, the accused may move to quash the complaint or information on any of the following grounds. Number 1, facts charged do not constitute an offense if the allegations in the complaint or information, even if hypothetically admitted, do not make out a criminal offense. Kumbaga, yung acts na sinasabi doon sa complaint or information, hindi naman sila pasok sa definition ng offense. Kumbaga, technically, they are not crimes. Number 2, court lacks jurisdiction over the offense. The offense is not within the trial court subject matter jurisdiction. For example, Sandigan Bayan versus regular courts, Metropolitan Trial Courts versus regional trial courts. Baka yung kaso pang MTC lang. Pero final mo sa RTC. So, walang jurisdiction yung court nun. Doon, pwede kang mag-file ng motion to quash. And again, this is a non-waivable ground. Court lacks jurisdiction over the person of the accused. This typically arises when the accused has not been validly arrested or placed under custody of the law. Although in practice, courts often acquire jurisdiction once the accused voluntarily submits to the court or is validly arrested. Number 4, accused does not have legal capacity to be held to answer. For instance, if the accused is below the age of criminal responsibility or otherwise exempt by law. Kumbaga, yung akusado ay hindi pwedeng pasagutin doon sa batas. Papaano yun? Baka bata siya. Kahit na by definition nakagawa siya ng krimen, pero hindi siya pwedeng ma-hold accountable for the act he or she has committed, then yun, grounds to file a motion to quash. Number 5, more than one offense charge, multiplicity, except in cases where the law or rules permit a single complaint or information to contain multiple offenses, such as continuous offenses or special laws allowing joinder. Number 6, criminal action or liability has been extinguished. Situations where prescription has set in or there is an amnesty, pardon, or other legal reason that has extinguished criminal liability. So kapag ang isang tao ay binigyan na ng pardon, then pwede nang mag-file ng motion to quash. Number 7, it contains allegations which, if true, would constitute a legal excuse or justification. For example, a clear statement in the information that the act was done in self-defense or any matter that would exempt the accused from criminal liability. So, sinasabi dito na kahit totoo yung mga sinasabi doon sa allegations, merong legal excuse or merong justification para doon sa action na yon. Kumbaga, oo, totoo, pero hindi ako pwede maging accountable sa actions ko kasi pwedeng self-defense yon. Number 8, double jeopardy. If the accused has been previously convicted or acquitted or the case dismissed or terminated without the express consent of the accused on the same facts or offense. So when we say double jeopardy, sabihin natin nagkaroon ka ng kaso. Diba? May facts of the case yon. Not guilty, sabi ni judge. So, ikaw na prosecutor, naghanap ka ng ibang judge, naghanap ka ng ibang location, nag-file ka ulit ng kaso with the same facts of the case. That's double jeopardy. Hindi pwede yon. Kung gusto mo mag-file ng case, kailangan ibang kaso. Kailangan ibang facts of the case. 9. Lack of authority of the officer who filed the information. For example, an information filed by someone not duly empowered by law or lacking proper authority from the prosecutorial hierarchy. Kumbaga, walang karapatan yung nag-file ng information na mag-file. Form and content of a motion to quash. Number 1, written motion. A motion to quash must generally be in writing, signed by counsel or the accused if unrepresented, stating the ground or grounds relied upon and specifying the defect complained of. Ang isang motion to quash, it's a document. It's a written document. Number 2, notice and hearing. It must comply with the requirement of notice and hearing, giving the prosecution an opportunity to be heard. The prosecution may oppose or file a written comment or traverse. Kumbaga, kailangan ipaalam mo rin ito sa kabilang partido para mabigyan sila ng pagkakataon na magkaroon ng reply, magkaroon ng comment. Hindi pwedeng basta nag-file ka lang sa court. Number 3, evidence. While usually resolved on the face of the complaint or information, in certain grounds, the court may consider external evidence to determine if the ground is meritorious. Kasi 'di ba sa motion to quash, ang sinasabi dito is babasahin naman na ni judge. Kapag nabasa na niya, magigets niya na makakapagbigay na siya ng desisyon base lang doon sa motion to quash kung igagrant niya ba yung motion na yon. Pero may mga pagkakataon na magre-require din siya, magbigay pa kayo ng ibang ebidensya para ma-check ko pa ng mas maigi. Something like that. Effects of a grant or denial of the motion. Number 1, grant of the motion. If the motion is granted, the criminal complaint or information is dismissed. Possibility of amendment or refiling. So, una doon, defect remediable by amendment. If the defect is something that can be cured by amending the information, the court may allow the prosecution to amend or to refile the case. Baka doon sa information, may konting pagkakamali lang. May mga pagkakataon na pwedeng payagan ng court na ayusin lang nila yung pagkakamali na yon, then let's move forward with the case. And second is double jeopardy implications. If the dismissal amounts to an acquittal or is based on any ground that would bar further prosecution, the case cannot be revived. So may mga ganong kaso kasi na pag dinismiss na yung motion to quash, as if meron na talagang acquittal, wala ka na talagang magagawa. Hindi mo na mare-revive. Yun nga ang term na ginamit eh. Hindi mo na mare-revive yung kaso. Number 2, denial of the motion, plea and trial. If the court denies the motion to quash, the accused must immediately enter a plea. If the accused refuses to plead, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on their behalf and the case proceeds to trial. No immediate appeal. As a rule, interlocutory orders such as an order denying a motion to quash are not appealable immediately. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng mag-file ng appeal doon sa order na yon, doon sa denial ng motion to quash. The accused must usually wait until the judgment on the merits is rendered to raise the denial of the motion to quash as an error on appeal. Then, effect of waiver. Waivable grounds. If the accused fails to invoke grounds such as lack of authority of the officer to file the information or even the ground of multiplicity of offense, these are generally deemed waived if not raised before entering a plea. Sabi nga natin kanina, bago pa ang lahat-lahat, kailangan na raise mo na before entering the plea. Kailangan na i-file mo na itong motion to quash mo before the plea has been entered. Para nga hindi na magtuloy doon sa hearing or doon sa trial. Kasi nga yun yung pine-prevent na magkaroon pa ng trial kapag magfa-file ka ng motion to quash. Non-waivable grounds. The grounds such as lack of jurisdiction over the offense, failure of the information to charge an offense, extinction of criminal liability, or double jeopardy are deemed so fundamental that they can be raised even after the accused enters a plea or at any stage of the proceeding and even on appeal. Remedies after a motion to quash. Kung nag-grant ang motion to quash, ito ang mga pwedeng mangyari. The prosecution might refile the case or amend the information depending on the ground for quashal. If the ground for quashal is double jeopardy, extinction of criminal liability, or prescription, the case cannot be refiled. Kasi nga, di ba, double jeopardy. Hindi ka nga pwedeng mag-file ng case with the same facts of the case. Kapag yung una ay sinabi ng not guilty, magfa-file ka ulit, hindi pwede yun. Prescription, lumagpas na sa oras na kung saan dapat nakapag-file ng case. So, kapag yun yung mga dahilan, hindi na pwedeng mag-file ulit. Then, if denied, the accused must enter a plea, proceed to trial, and raise the denial as an error on appeal after judgment is rendered. In exceptional instances, for example, grave abuse of discretion by the court, the accused may explore an extraordinary remedy. So, eto ang isang example ng motion to quash information. So, same lang din sa itsura ng motion for reconsideration, di ba? Nakalagay ang plaintiff dun sa upper left part, and then the accused, and then sa right side, yung kanilang law na na-violate. And then, nakalagay motion to quash information. Then, andyan ang mga grounds nila for filing this motion to quash. And then, sa latter part would be the prayer, kung ano yung gusto nilang mangyari. And then, the names, signatures of the accused. Yan. Yan ang motion to quash. And then, motion to dismiss, very short description lang. A motion to dismiss is a pleading or in some cases, a motion by which a defendant or respondent seeks the dismissal or termination of an action or proceeding at its early stage, often before the filing of an answer or before full-blown trial. In criminal proceedings, the counterpart of a motion to dismiss is typically a motion to quash the information. So, those are a few of the motions na meron tayo dito sa Pilipinas.